Hello, welcome to my channel. I am Ashley. Welcome to Winging It with Ash. Today I thought I would do a video on being divorced for a little over a year. I never planned on getting divorced. I am really sad that divorce is a part of my story because divorce is a really awful thing, and I don't believe that it should be celebrated, but I know that a lot of people have gone through a divorce or are in a situation where divorce might be something that they're facing. And so I thought it would be really good to create a video where I am talking about what my expectations were a year ago when I was newly divorced, and what actually happened, where I'm at now, as well as answering some of your questions that have to do with divorce, because I feel like divorce is something that even I felt guilty about or embarrassed about, and I think that even though those feelings come along with it, I don't want to live my life that way, and I want to be able to talk about things that are maybe more difficult to talk about, so that in some way, shape, or form I can help others and or encourage others. So that's my intention with this video. I know that everyone's story is different, mine included, so what I have to say or my experiences or my thoughts are not going to line up with everyone's experiences, but it may or may not. I just hope that this is a helpful video, maybe informative, and it's definitely gonna be an honest video, and I'm just gonna wing it. It's gonna be me and you and just answering some of your questions. So yeah, let's get started. Hello, I'm Ash. Welcome to my channel. My life has taken some unexpected turns in 2020, leaving me picking up the pieces and pressing restart. I don't know what every day will hold, but I do know I'm just gonna wing it. Thank you so much to the patrons of my channel. You help make Winging It with Ash possible. So first things first, let's start with my expectations after being newly divorced. I had been working on being an airline, like a flight attendant for a major airline here in the US. I was hired by them, and then the pandemic came. I was living in my parents' house, newly divorced. I had to really get things together. I'm the type of person that will move forward, just keep moving forward, because I know that life isn't going to just stop and stay in one place. And I would rather just continue to move forward and not deal with all my emotions and the difficult things. I don't know, I don't like conflict, I don't like being uncomfortable, but when the pandemic happened, it kind of forced me to slow down and to reevaluate a lot of things, to figure things out for myself personally. It allowed me time. It forced me to take time to go to a counselor every week, to go to the gym all the time. The support of my family was instrumental in me healing, as well as my faith and friends. There are a lot of things that went into it, but my expectation at that point was that I was going to become a flight attendant, that they were going to transfer me to some city within the US, and that would be my base, and that I would create a home and friendships and relationships there, and that didn't happen. So a year ago, if you would have asked Ashley where she would have seen herself, it would have been somewhere in the US in a random city, but it would not have been still in my hometown working for a dental office. I would not have expected that at all. But I just want to say that even though those were my expectations, I am not disappointed at where I am now. The things that have happened and the way that they've happened has been such a blessing to me, to be able to slow down and to heal the way that I have, to be able to spend the time with my family that I have, to have this amazing apartment and an incredible place surrounded by friends and family where I've lived alone for my very first time in my entire life, has been a huge blessing, and I'm so grateful and thankful for the way that things have turned out. I did not expect any of this. I I think I'll get into it in the questions because some of you guys asked questions about relationships and love. But I did not expect to be in a relationship now. If you would have asked me a year ago, like if I would fall in love again within a year of being divorced, I would have not, like, I wouldn't have believed you. But yeah, I don't know. It is possible and it has happened, and I'm just so grateful for the way things that have turned out, even though they have been like, I feel like the complete opposite of what I expected. I've been open to whatever comes my way, and this is where I'm at right now. I thought like one of the best ways for me to do this video was to ask you guys questions and see what you guys are interested in knowing after being divorced for a year. So I asked on Instagram and you guys came back with a bunch of awesome questions. So I thought that the best thing for me to do is to just go through those questions. It'll also help me like stay on track because I could potentially be all over the place. So this will be really helpful. And thank you so much for your questions. How long did it take before you stopped feeling sad? There are aspects of my divorce that still make me sad when I think about it. I got married with the intention of being married to the same person for my entire life. So to me that makes me sad because yeah, that's not gonna happen. Like, I don't, those years that I spent with someone else, like my ex, I would have loved to have spent with the person that I was going to be with forever. Like, that makes me sad. But there are things that, like, I'm really excited about. I think that being older and being able to look for a relationship now, there are a lot of things that I did not consider as a 20-year-old getting married that I'm definitely considering now when I'm looking for a partner. And I think that in itself is a benefit because there are things in my life that I'm going to go through now as a 35-year-old woman that are going to be difficult things, like having children or going through parents getting older, or I don't know, there's just a lot of things that or like dealing with sickness or death. Like, these things, I want to pick a partner. I want to be with someone who I can go through those things with, that I'm going to have a solid foundation with. And they're not necessarily things that I was considering when I got married so young. Yeah. I don't know. There might be a lot of things that make sense to those of you who have gone through the same or a similar thing. And some of you may not understand, but that it's just like, now that I'm older, I am considering so many other things than what I thought about when I was a kid, when I was 20 getting married. So I'm excited about what that means for me, and my future partner, and those amazing qualities that are going to be in that person. I think that's not a great answer for that question. How long did it take you before you stopped feeling sad? I literally didn't answer that question. I think this is a good question because there was a long period of time where I thought, I'm never gonna, like, will I ever feel joy again? Because I just feel incredibly sad. There was months and months like that. I think that I could say maybe 7 months after I was able to, I don't know, maybe 5 months I was able to talk about it without crying or without feeling shame or guilt. 7 months in, like, I think that it just took me a lot of explaining it to people, or just ripping off that band-aid and saying, yeah, I'm divorced, or not being embarrassed when I run into somebody at the store. Even though still I feel like that, I still feel embarrassed, I still feel shame that I'm divorced, because that was never my intention. But that's wrong. Like, I shouldn't feel that way. I fight against that all the time. I fight against just feeling like a failure in that aspect. But I know that that's wrong. That's the wrong feelings. Like, I'm not a failure. I'm not doomed to be the divorced girl. Like, I don't know, I think it's such a weird thing, but I, from the very beginning, like, did not want to be labeled the divorced girl, or the girl that got divorced, or the girl whose husband became a woman. Like, I, yeah, so did not want that label on me, and was really nervous about that. But the longer time has gone on, I have found my joy again. I realize that I'm not labeled those things, and that I need to just allow for truth to be spoken to me, and that I don't need to listen to those lies and think that I am labeled to those things, because that's not on me. Like, I can't let that rule my life, and I can't let that be the labels that I live by. So, like, I need to move forward from that, and it took me a while to realize that. The next question is, do you feel you're finally over it? How long did it take you to feel fine again? This will definitely differ for anyone and everyone, but for me, I knew a long time before, like, it was almost 2 years that I knew before we got a divorce that the way that things were headed. And so that during that time, I was trying to figure out where I stood and what was going to happen in our future. And so, yeah, it was a long process, like at least 2.5 years, where we were just trying to figure it out. So, do I feel like I'm over it? Yeah. When we got divorced, there was a difference that was made where I could become who I wanted to be, and the heaviness of knowing where my ex was going, and that I didn't have to be a part of that, was a relief in so many ways. Yeah, I think, yeah, I was relieved that that was not my future. Are you okay? Have you moved on? Yes and yes. Do you find it tempting to see what they're up to now? I think that this is normal. People are tempted to see what their ex is up to. Although I do not have any form of finding that out, and so it's a lot easier for me because I don't have, I have no communication really, just small bits here and there. But yeah, I don't have social media of my ex, and so there really, at this point, is no need for me to look into that or have any of that a part of my life. Any regrets? Nope. I believe that I did everything I could. I believe that I did everything in wisdom and love. I seriously tried all that I could to make things work without compromising who I am and what I believe in. So yeah, I don't really have regrets, although, yeah, I just wish that I would have known from the very beginning the way that things would work out, even though that literally is impossible. Do you have a better understanding of how this trial has made you grow as a person? Absolutely. I know how strong I am. My faith is stronger than, like, I had no one to really rely on when going through the most difficult times that I have, other than God and my faith and my family. And so, yeah, I think that through this, I've definitely understood who I am, who I want to be more now than I ever have before, as an individual, and I'm super proud of that, and I'm excited to see where that will lead me. What was one thing you thought would be different by now that still you struggle with, or you're still struggling with? I guess travel. I would have thought that we would be able to travel by now. I thought that I would have traveled by now, and I haven't. So that really doesn't have anything to do with my divorce. Can you talk about financial toll? It's so hard. Yeah, so I don't know, like our situation was very different. Neither of us had full-time, normal, stable jobs. We both lived off of our income from YouTube. So thankfully our channel, The Way Away, was still making an income. So we, throughout the last year, have split whatever income was coming from ads from The Way Away, which is great. I had to live at my parents' house because it was not enough for me to get my own apartment being home, and so I'm so thankful for that, that my parents took me in and allowed me to save money so that I can be in an apartment like this and get a job that I really, really like. So yeah, I was very blessed in that way. I imagine for those of you who are not supported by your parents or have that option, it would be even more difficult. I just can imagine it would be really, really hard. I have been incredibly blessed in that way. And as far as like getting divorced, there are a few fees, but like I said, because we didn't have a lawyer or anything, it wasn't that big of a toll. If you don't have a ton of things that you're trying to divide, then it's fairly simple, and I didn't have that big of a toll when it comes financially to my divorce. Are you scared to love or marry again? No, I love being married. I loved being married. I love being a wife. I love loving someone, taking care of someone, being taken care of. I wondered at one point if I would be able to, if I would find someone who would tick all the boxes, who would, because now I feel like I'm more pickier than ever before. But I am so excited about my future and loving someone and being a wife to someone and being a mom to some, you know, children. Like, yeah, yes. The answer is yes. Or the answer is no. The question was, are you scared to love or marry again? No, I'm not scared. I am really excited about it. Was I always at this point where I'm really excited about it? No, I think that it helps that I've fallen in love with someone, but it did take time, and I was definitely a lot more cautious than I thought I would be. Yeah, I didn't expect things to turn out the way that it did, but I was scared about being hurt. I think that, are you scared to love or marry again? No, I'm not scared to love or marry again, but I am scared of being hurt and in a way like tricked, or I don't know if tricked is the right word, but just like put in a similar situation. Yeah, that makes me nervous. But am I willing to take the chance? Yeah, I totally am. Nothing in life is guaranteed. And through this experience, I've learned that more than ever, that nothing in life is guaranteed. I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but I'm not willing to compromise my happiness because of fear. Yeah, I think that's bottom line. Have you recovered from all the confusion and hurt now that you have a new beau? So there is still confusion over like how my divorce happened, like what, like it's just hard to make sense of like my whole situation. But I feel like that I have recovered, and I am in a really good place now. Do you have contact with your ex? Very limited, mostly just business, and at this point, not really at all. Not a lot at all. Nothing personal. Do you miss your old life? Do I miss travel? Do I miss seeing the world? Do I miss cultures? Yes. Do I miss being a wife, having someone by my side all the time, being a teammate? Yeah, I do miss all those things. What has surprised you most about your journey? The timing of everything is crazy, how the timing of everything happened the way that it did, where we were full-time traveling, we stopped full-time travel, came back, we're divorced, then COVID hit, and I've been home, and the way things that all worked out during that time are crazy miracles. There are so many miracles, so many crazy timing things that just seem like they couldn't have turned out the way that they did if I would have planned them. They're just amazing, amazing the way that things have turned out, and I couldn't have done it myself. Like I can't explain it other than I know that someone's looking out for me. God's looking out for me for sure. Like crazy, crazy, crazy. It's awesome. I shouldn't be surprised by it, but I am. What qualities and requisites do you look for in a partner now that are non-negotiable? I need someone who is caring, loving, kind, who has a good family, who has the same morals and values that I have, who will take care of me, and someone who will allow me to love them, who will be romantic, and there's just so many things. Someone who I can have as a partner and who will support me and I can support them. I want to be a cheerleader. Like, I have a long, 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 long list of things. Do you ever have to make yourself go out and do things by yourself, or does it come easy to you? I like to go out and do things. It doesn't necessarily come easy to me. I would rather be doing things with people, but I have done many things myself. So yeah, say going and solo traveling, I would like to do that. Would I kind of be forcing myself to do that? Yes, because I would much rather be doing it with someone else. My enjoyment of experiences is not only enjoying the experience myself, but also seeing the enjoyment through other people. And so yeah, I would prefer to be with others doing things, but if that's not an option, then I would be okay with going and doing it myself. Did you think that you would be in a new relationship during 2020, especially once COVID hit? Absolutely not. I did not expect, I expected to maybe date and try to figure things out. I tried the dating apps, did not work. But did I imagine meeting someone and feeling the way that I do about him in this time? No, it was not an expectation at all. I didn't know if I would ever find someone who would tick my boxes, or that I would even open up to someone the way that I have, in the way that we have, being long distance. It was not an expectation at all. It's a lovely, lovely, lovely surprise. Does the pain of it all subside? Yes, the pain does subside. The disappointment of it, I don't know that it, I'm still disappointed in the way that things turned out. Not what I expected or wanted. Yeah. Are you happy? Always the most important question to ask someone. Yes, I do feel happy. There are so many things in my life to be happy and thankful about. I have joy in my daily life and the things that I experience and do, and I see the incredible reasons why I've been in the position that I've been in, and yeah, I just think that I will be used, my story will be used, and yeah, I'm so thankful for the foundation that I have that has helped me come to where I am now. Are you at peace with your divorce, or do you feel you may still have PTSD, like trauma from it? I'm at peace with it. I know that it was the right thing with where things were going. It was definitely what needed to happen for me to continue to live the life that I feel I'm led to live. Are there things that kind of like trigger me, or are there things that like make me extra cautious, or things that I get worried about? Yes. Yes, there are things that, like now being in a new relationship, there are things that are brought up that I don't expect to be an issue, or that I don't expect to be like something that I'm concerned about. But the best thing is to be honest in those situations, bring it up and say, this is how I'm feeling, and then you both can work through it together. I think that honesty is incredibly important when you are out of a relationship and you're in a new relationship. And so that's what I've been trying to do, is be just as honest and open as possible. There have been times where things have come up and I completely did not expect my reaction or my emotion that's tied to it, but I've had to just work through it and yeah, like question myself, question why I'm having that reaction or those feelings, and if they are irrational or not. And a lot of times they are irrational. Like I shouldn't be having those feelings towards a new person just because of it's like the person that I'm dating now is not my ex, so I should not have this feeling towards them as if they're similar. Does that make sense? I don't know. Honesty has been extremely important, and there have been times where I feel like there is like a little PTSD from prior relationship, and so that's definitely been something that I've had to work through. And it's like, it's a real thing. It's something that anybody in any relationship has to try and figure out how to move forward from. Well, this is a big one. Did you feel relieved in any way knowing that it wasn't working? The relief came when we both sat down and talked about what was to come in the future. Like if either one of us were willing to give up the things that we felt were right, where we were like on completely different sides. And the truth is that when we both had that conversation, neither of us lined up, and we knew that for our health, for our sanity, it was better that we went our separate ways. So the relief, I think, came that it was more of a mutual thing, and that we both decided to move forward in that direction. When I say relief, that doesn't mean that there isn't any pain, there isn't any sadness, because on both ends there was a lot of pain, a lot of sadness, but the relief came knowing that we had come to a decision and this is the way it was going to be, and we were going to move forward in that direction. Yeah, it was really, really hard, but something that we had to do was to come to that agreement and decision and understanding together. And that took a long time. I think that 1.5 years in, we still hadn't had that conversation, but once we had the conversation and knew that our marriage needed to end for both of us, yeah, that was a relief. How difficult was it to lose relationships with his family and friends? Friends, I've kept in touch with a lot of our similar friends. With family, it was like an interesting thing to try to figure out what was appropriate, what was going to happen in that situation. But I love his family and they love me, and we've kept a relationship, and I'm so thankful for that. Like, I don't want to lose them. It was 13 years of relationship that we've had, and so I'm so thankful for how gracious his family has been, how loving his family has been to me. And in certain situations, you don't have to lose that. And that was something that I questioned. To move forward, do I lose the relationship with them even though I love them so much and I want them a part of my life? And the answer was no. And yeah, I had to struggle through that and figure that out myself. But they helped me, and I'm so grateful that they've been by my side, and that I didn't have to lose that relationship. That means so much to me. Do you feel resentful towards your ex? No, I don't resent him. And I think that that has been a big part of my healing process, that I've been able to move forward without resenting, without being angry. I'm not really angry. I wish that it was something that I didn't have to go through. I wish that there was honesty from the very beginning. Not that I don't know. I don't think that he was hiding it, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't have answers for that, but I'm not resentful, and I don't have a bitterness at all. I just don't have room in my heart for that. So yeah, I think that that's helped in my growth and moving forward, definitely. But yeah, I don't know how any of it would have changed. There's literally, I just think that there's no reason to think about that now. It's just a waste of time, because there's no way we can change it. There's no way to go back in time. So it is what it is. And the life that I have lived before this point was amazing. Like, for the most part, I had an incredible, I've had an incredible life. And I'm thankful for the experiences that I've had. Yeah, no resentment. How has it affected your ability to trust? I'm a very trusting person in general. I trust people so easily. So I don't think that it's made a huge difference in me trusting people. Although I do have this nervousness about things changing over time. I do get nervous thinking about long-term relationships and if things will change over time. I get a little scared about that, but like I said before, I don't want to live my life in fear of the unknown or there's no guarantee. I have no idea what will happen in the future, and heartache could be ahead of me or it couldn't be ahead of me, but I'm going to do everything I can in my power to do what I can to make sure that that doesn't happen, but it might. And I know that through this experience, I'm strong enough, my faith is strong enough, my support from my family is strong enough to get me through any of it. So who knows what my future has ahead, but I'm excited about it. And yeah, I'm strong enough to handle whatever it is that's going to come my way. Did we consider staying together? Yeah. I think that there's, in the first year at least, neither of us knew what was going to happen. And so through that time, we were trying to figure out, what did this mean? What did this mean for both of us? How should we figure out, to make this work? We tried, I think, for 2 years to just figure out where we stood and what compromises needed to be made to make our marriage last. And in the end, it just didn't seem to be enough. We were going in completely different directions. And although we tried for a long time to figure it out, over that time, it became more apparent that our choices were going to be extremely different and it wasn't going to work out. So yeah, we tried everything. We tried. I can't say everything, but a lot of effort was put in for a long period of time. All right, I've been talking forever. I've re-recorded a bunch of stuff. This video was way harder than I expected it to be. There is so much that goes into this, way more than I have time for on this video, but I did everything I could to record, to gather my thoughts, and to share where I'm at and where I've been. I hope that this helps someone out there. I don't believe that going through the difficult times and the hard things that I have been in life, that they would be worth going through unless I was willing to share it in the hopes that somebody else will gain some kind of help through it. So that's my intention, as well as to just document yeah, that I had difficult times, but this is where I'm at now. I think that that's important. This is kind of a journal to me, and yeah, I hope that you all enjoyed and that you appreciate the honesty, because that's what I'm trying to do here. So have a great day. All the best. Leave your comments down below. I love to hear from you guys. It really helps me with the YouTube algorithm. And if you have not already subscribed, be sure to do so. And have a great day. I will talk to you later. Bye.